My name is Laura Brown. This is project number 2. I'm going to explain, compare, and contrast behavioral, cognitive, and social theories of learning. Behavioral learning theories focus on changes in behavior that occur over time and are influenced by the immediate consequences that follow. This theory suggests that learning comes from either a permanent or potential change in behavior as a result of a stimulus-response situation. Pavlov's theory of classical conditioning showed that learning could affect reflexive behaviors, which were previously thought to be involuntary. Skinner believed behavioral learning wasn't limited to just reflexive responses. His theory of operant conditioning focuses on the relationship between behavior and the immediate consequences following behavior, in the apparent absence of any unconditioned stimulus. The principles of behavioral learning were developed to help describe and define the events occurring when learning takes place through behavior. Reinforcers are used to increase the frequency of a behavior and can be described as primary, secondary, positive, or negative. Careful scheduling of when reinforcers are given can be used for maintenance to prevent extinction of a desired behavior, and also can be used throughout the process of shaping, where learners are reinforced along the way in order to push them toward a final goal. Cognitive learning theory is defined as the process of how the mind acquires, processes, acts upon, and stores information that is obtained from the environment. This is dependent upon the individual's attitude, expectations, and knowledge from personal experiences. Cognitive learning theory focuses on unobservable mental processes used to learn and recall new skills or information. In this theory, learning is equated with knowledge. This fact emphasizes the importance that memory and thinking have throughout the entire cognitive process. Social learning theory is the final theory behind how humans acquire information. This theory focuses on how social cues can affect behavior as well as the internal mental processes. Bandura suggested that consequences are not needed for learning to occur, and he believed that the mind, behavior, and environment all play an important role in how we learn. In the theory of observational learning, he states that much of what is learned comes directly from a model, whether that be vicariously or directly. By combining aspects from both cognitive and behavioral learning, he developed a distinct pattern to describe social learning. The processes of self-regulation and self-reinforcement are two important concepts that occur here. These concepts are used when an individual is able to think about his or her own thinking. Cognitive behavior modification is the process of observing one's thinking, judging it by your personal standards, and then implementing reinforcers accordingly in order to change a behavior. Students can be taught to use self-regulating strategies in a variety of contexts so that this would become a habit. Behavioral, cognitive, and social learning are all complex theories that we use to explain patterns of human learning. And ultimately how those patterns can be used to achieve desired outcomes. Behavior and social theories are alike in they both lean heavily on the expectations of positive reinforcement. This is going to increase the frequency of the behavior occurring. Cognitive and social theories are alike in that they explain human activities such as problem solving, conceptual thinking, and learning that we cannot physically observe. Behavioral and cognitive learning theories are separated by the ability to observe them. Behavioral theories describe how changes in behavior can be physically observed and measured, whereas cognitive learning is unobservable internal process of storing and retrieving information. Social learning is described as a middle ground or connection between the processes of internal and external learning. Social learning theories involve the effects of our thoughts on actions and actions on thoughts, making them an integration of both behavioral and cognitive learning styles. Together, these three categories, behavioral, social, and cognitive learning, provide us with a full description of how human learning occurs.